All right, everyone. So, if you decide to use photography in a um, photograph booth, we do have a photograph booth here at school. As you can see, I'm walking out of the glazing kiln yard slash area, and I'm taking you guys over here to room 124. All right, so right around the corner here, we have this photo setup in the back of this room that you can all use to photograph your pieces. Now I have a student's work here just to kind of give you a little example. And I will show you how to turn these on. So the premise behind this skull piece is for it to be excavated from somewhere. So think about creating the scene when you're taking these photographs. You can use this space, or you can go out into the environments, into your home, however you want to show this piece and where it's quote unquote excavated from, where you basically found it, right? So we have these beautiful lights here, and they have these diffusers on them, which makes it so that you don't get a glare on your piece. And as I follow you down to the back, you can see that there is some switches, or there are some switches here that you want to click to turn on. And depending on what you want your light to be, there's about 3 switches there. You can turn on 1, or you can turn on 2 or 3, depending on how much light you want. This one up here turns on this top diffuser, which makes sure you don't get too many shadows on top of your piece. Excuse me. And then, as I continue down, this light on the right has more switches, so you can turn on the lights inside. When it is up, it is off, and when the switches are down, they are on. All right, so these have diffusers. This is a usable space. You can come in here whenever you'd like, as long as it's open. Ask a teacher to open it for you if you need it open. Or what you can do is wait until class and take your photos. So just for this Wednesday, you guys don't have to photograph like this, like in a beautiful setup, right? All I'm expecting you for this Wednesday is to show me that you've started glazing. Our pieces will be reviewed by the end of November in our final, so make sure you have pictures by then with this beautiful setup or a setup at home. But just so you see, it's a beautiful lighting that doesn't give you too many shadows or too many glares in your piece. I'm going to see what happens when I turn off some of these lights. I'm getting a little bit more of a shadow, right? So if you're going for a spooky vibe, maybe you might want some shadows. I'm also losing that reflection there on my right side of my face. Let's try this one over here. Excuse the blurring. So now this is just from it being lit from above, which gives you a lot of drama. You can use your phone, but what I recommend you do is take photos and zoom in, make sure that they're nice and crisp before you move out of this space. I don't want to have too blurry of photos. I'd like the best photos possible, please. And I want you to think about how you want to arrange your item. I can maybe move it in one direction. Of course, in theory, this would have items around it that has to do with where the skull was excavated from. And this is a little messy of a piece of paper. You can kind of sweep it off the best you can. Try not to put any of your wet clay out here, and just do glazed pieces in this photo booth. But yeah, so you have this option here. You can bring in another backdrop and try to like pin it to the back if you'd like. You can set up your scene You can, you know, whatever you want to do in this space is a go in terms of photographing these. If you do photograph them other places, I recommend daylight photographing. It reduces the amount of glare on your piece. If you do photograph it inside your home, think about where your lights are. Make sure things are well lit, where you want them to be well lit. Think about the quality of light, either using warm bulbs versus more brighter bulbs like this one here, more of like a halogen light bulb, right? Yeah, think about how you want these to be shown. You can also put candles around them and photograph them in the darkness, whatever works for you. All right, guys, thank you.